World Health Organization alarm, COVID will be more deadly. The World Health Organization (WHO) Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced a bleak warning today about the COVID coronavirus as it and its variants tromps its way into year 2. Despite vaccinations taking place around the globe, the World Health Organization is predicting year 2 of COVID to be worse than year 1. The WHO is going so far as to say this year will be even more deadly. Although new guidance from the CDC says masks not needed for fully vaccinated, many say it's premature to make that announcement. Said the WHO Director General, "We're on track for the second year of this pandemic to be far more deadly than the first." In Japan, a coronavirus state of emergency took in another 3 regions just 10 weeks before the Olympics. Tokyo and other areas are already under emergency orders until the end of May, with Hiroshima, Okayama, and northern Hokkaido, which will host the Olympic marathon, now joining them. Japan is currently battling its 4th wave of the coronavirus, which is putting a huge strain on its medical system. A petition has been submitted with more than 350,000 signatures calling for the games to be cancelled. In Taiwan, entertainment venues such as bars, nightclubs, karaoke lounges, internet cafes, saunas, tea houses, hostess clubs, and dance clubs, as well as sports centers and libraries in Taipei have been closed down after a wave of COVID infections erupted that began among a group of pilots. In Turkey, COVID is also wreaking havoc with sports in the form of the May 29 Champions League final between Manchester City and Chelsea being shifted from Istanbul to Porto. Portugal stated that British tourists and football fans will be allowed into the country. The Turkish Grand Prix, which was only drafted onto the Formula One calendar as a replacement for the cancelled Canada GP 2 weeks ago, was simply cancelled altogether. Instead, Formula One chiefs announced they will return to the safe haven of Austria. If you add all the COVID cases in a single day around the world, India has been adding that amount to its daily tally all by itself. So far more than 260,000 citizens of India have died. Worldwide, it has been reported that at least 3.3 billion people have died from COVID. Elsewhere, countries are opening up and welcoming tourists. Greece officially announced its reopening of the tourism season today. France and Spain launched tourism campaigns this week as well, and Italy announced it is scrapping a quarantine requirement for visitors from the EU, Britain, and Israel if they test negative for COVID. The United States President Biden announced on Thursday that the CDC was lifting mask-wearing guidance for fully vaccinated people. Despite this new guidance, some say they will continue to wear their masks out of caution, saying it's premature and dangerous to think we are already at that stage. Almost 60% of U.S. adults have now received 1 or more doses, while cases are falling fast, down to a 7-day average of 38,000 or 11 per 100,000. And the U.S. campaign to vaccinate adolescents aged 12 to 15 began Thursday in earnest following the authorization of the Pfizer vaccine in this age group. The WHO, however, is urging wealthy countries to stop vaccinating children and instead donate doses to poorer nations. Rebuilding travel.